How you doing? Let's welcome, let's welcome, let's welcome. How are you guys doing? Let's welcome, let's welcome, let's welcome. My name is Dollar and my husband's name is Chefpaid. And every time you see us on the semi truck, we're getting paid. My name is Dollar and my husband's name is Chefpaid. And every time you see us on the semi truck, we're getting paid. So today, it's time for me to break a moment of silence. I know that the year has started and you got so many ideas, so many goals, but you must start with one. I'm here to tell you, you must start with one goal at a time. I ain't say you have to don't do all of your goals, but start with one goal at a time. When I say that, meaning don't overwork yourself, don't overthink yourself. The first goal that I said I want to accomplish every day is to wake up or when I open my eyes and begin to pray and ask God to guide me. Ask God to put me in places and in rooms that I need to be put in so I can continue to learn, I continue to study, and I continue to, just grow within myself. Now, I know it's people just like me that are scared, that are stuck. They feel like, dang, can I do it? Can I not do it? Well, I'm here to tell my story today. You always see me post about do it scared. And what I mean by that is everything I have done in my life, I have done it scared. From the moment probably coming to this earth. You be doing a lot of scary things. If you pay attention to your kids, if you have kids, but if you pay attention to people that have children, the kids, you learn. So anything, everything in life, you do have to learn. And when it comes down to me, just being the person that I am and transparent with being real with myself, everything I have done, I really did it scared. And like I said, I always have to piggyback on me having my daughter at the age of 15. That's just my story. I'm not sure about your story, but my story is I have to piggyback and say, hey, I had my child at the age of 15 and I was scared as shit. I was scared as hell. And the reason why I have to piggyback because then y'all see me say, hey, I was in a wheelchair at the age of 15. I was turning 16 into like for almost 2 years. I'm not trying to tell you that I was in a wheelchair all my life. I'm telling you I had to work to get out the wheelchair though. And I didn't want to be handicapped. I didn't want to be disabled. But at that time, being 15, 16, 17, I was considered disabled and I didn't want to be disabled. So what that would tell you is I had to do it scared. I had to be unstuck. I had to say, you know what, I got to get out this wheelchair. People looking at me, the way I used to be depressed, the way I used to be uh, like crying all the time, sad, asking God why me, why I had to be in the wheelchair, why I had to be in this situation. You don't know why. You never would know why God is putting you in these situations. Don't fault God, but you do have to keep in mind, you do have to ask God, well, dang, why me? And I always have to say this, I had to overcome. I had to overcome being in that wheelchair. If I knew I would need to get out that wheelchair, I had to go to therapy. I had to work on my own muscles. Sometimes you might get therapy maybe what, twice or three times out the week. Well, you can't just depend on going to no therapy no twice or three times out the week. So while you're at home, you got to try to work on yourself. You got to try to work your muscles yourself. Listen, y'all, I felt so many times just me getting up and trying to walk, falling, getting up, trying to walk, falling. My goal was I wanted to walk across that stage and graduate. Because guess what? When you have your baby or you have your child at an early age, especially teen, 13, I don't care if you had your child 13, 14, 15, 16, they be like, she ain't gonna graduate. She gonna have more kids. Well, I'm here to tell you that was one of my goals. Listen, I don't want to have no more kids, and I want to be able to graduate and walk across the stage because you hear so much chatter. You hear so many people saying, hey, she gonna have another baby. Hey, she ain't gonna graduate. She ain't gonna be nothing. All because I had a child. Keep in mind, we don't know. We don't know if we're gonna have a baby or not. We just experiencing life along the journey. You can say, "Oh, nobody ain't teach me about sex." They did, not in my area. All my grandma told me is to keep my drawers up and my dress down. Whatever that meant, I took it as keep my drawers up and dress down. But that's another story. I'm just telling you about me and my situation. And I have to keep stressing this or telling you this, that it took time for me to get out that wheelchair. I say almost 3 years, 2.5. I'm just say 2 years, because I had to go from the walker go from the wheelchair to the walker. And that was crazy. I was walking with a walker. I had knee braces. I had two left shoes. But you know what? That was the ugliest time of my life, like, because I'm going to high school. I got these two left shoes. I got these damn knee pads. Oh man, these knee braces on my knees. You have to understand, as a child, that will be traumatizing. Me playing basketball, me used to be able to run, play basketball, run, skip, hop, and now to come out, I can't run, skip, hop. That was devastating for me. And so I'm always trying to tell you guys, no matter how bad it looked, I'm not saying I was in a wheelchair all my life, but I still overcame that obstacle. So you have to, if you're in a wheelchair right now, if they saying, and they were doubting me, they were telling me, oh, it was in my head, the reason why I can't walk. Oh, that's another thing. Them doctors, them people that try to piggyback up off on you, the neurologists and all that, they gonna have it in your head. I'm talking about they gonna put all these things. You ain't gonna never be able to walk again. But I was determined, you guys. I was determined to walk again. I was determined to not allow what the doctors were saying to get in my head, because them telling me the only reason why you're not walking because it's stuck in your head. You scared to walk. Oh, that was crazy. That was crazy as hell. But that's another story. It kind of did traumatize me. So, me being that I was disabled, I wanted to change that. I wanted to change that. I didn't want to be stuck living off no paycheck to no paycheck every month, waiting on no check, because my mindset was bigger. My mindset was greater. And so, for me to say these things is, you guys have to understand, hey, that was a hard pill to swallow in my life. 15, 16, 17, 18. It don't stop there. I graduated. I walked across the stage. Now, I walk across the stage, but I always got to wobble. So I never been able to walk straight the way I used to walk straight in the beginning when God made me where I could walk regular. I always had a wobble. My wobble got over my years. My wobble changed. Like, I still walk with a limp, but I had a bad walk. Like, I had a terrible, and I'm blessed to be able to walk. I always tell people, I am blessed to be able to walk. That's all that matters to me. A lot of people used to be like, "Well, Dane, did you sue?" It ain't. Do you? I'd rather be able to walk and be successful and keep going the way I am going than to worry about suing the doctors and talking about getting the paycheck. Man, I'm worried about, can I play basketball again? That's in my mind. I'm worried about, man, I am not disabled. I don't want to be disabled. I don't want to be limited. And that's just the truth. So over those years, my grandma was upset with me because I didn't want that check. So I want to work telemarketing. If I can sit down, yeah, I'm going to do telemarketing. That was probably one of the jobs that I did that made my check get cut off. I ain't going to even lie. When they found out I was doing telemarketing or something like that, I think the check went from $600 or $700 to $300. I can't live off no damn $300. But in my mind, as a child, I wanted to be normal like my other friends. They were getting jobs, Burger King, McDonald's, and all that. I just wanted to work. Nobody would hire me because the disabled are risking defaulting in a establishment. So I said, well, I got to be a businesswoman. I got to be my own boss. And I was already doing hair, but hair is that you can be doing hair all you want to from the kitchen, and that's what I was always doing hair at my kitchen, doing hair from my house, just doing hair. That's where I started at. But I made a lot of money, but I didn't know the fundamental behind it. You can make money, but if you don't know how to really place your money or be your accountant and know how to save, it blows in thin air. It's like you being a drug dealer and you in the streets, and you done been in the streets for damn near 5 years and you still ain't got $10,000 saved up. Do that make sense of what I'm trying to tell y'all? That's just hear me out. When you're a hairstylist, if you don't know how to save and invest and knowing how to actually build your company when it comes down to doing hair, it blows in the thin air because you feel like, oh, I can make money every day. That's the same as being in the streets. You make money every day, blow the thin air. You be like, shit. Excuse me. I started with a 50 pack. From a 50 pack, I know I gotta flip that and make it 100. From the 100, I know I gotta make it to 200. That's just the life that we always chose. And to say that in the opinion back and say that is what I knew now, I wish I would have known a long time ago. And I probably would have been a successful hairstylist if I would have knew how to save, how to brand, how to create a product and sell my product around my customers. You get what I'm saying? So the knowledge that I do know now, I wish I would have knew years ago. But at the same time, back to what I was saying, everything is patience and it takes time. So even when I said I was able to walk across that stage at 18, you guys have to understand and keep in mind, it didn't stop there. It didn't stop there. I didn't get my CDLs in 2019. If it makes sense, I graduated high school in 2000. My man was further along. I wasn't thinking about being no dang on CDL driver at that time. At that time, I was thinking about getting my cosmetology license and being a first-time homeowner. With them in the midst of that program, I had to be on the books. And Lisa, she could tell you, she was my tax preparer, and she the one told me, "Hey, you have to get your receipt book." I didn't know nothing about this as a hairstylist back then. You got to get your receipt books. You got to get them girls receipts every time you do their hair. She made me understand that the first year. Okay, calculation. So I did that the first year. Everything that Miss Lisa told me to do as my tax preparer, so I could get the ball rolling, so I could be able to become a homeowner. You got to go to get your cosmetology license, and you got to put it on the book. You got to make sure you do receipts. I'm learning. So in 2004, I actually received. So this you got to think from 2018. I'm doing hair. I'm trapping. I'm in the streets. 2004. I'm still doing hair. I'm trapping. Whatever I can do to make this, to make me some money and to take care of me and my child, I'm gonna do it. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna just say piggyback a time frame because I ain't got a lot of time, but I'm here for a long time. Uh, but I'm gonna say 2004, I ended up getting my cosmetology license, and so like you say, I wanted to be a first time homeowner. And with that being said, they said, well, hey, you got to have a license that said that you're a cosmetologist. I had to go to school for a year. Well, I would say about 10 months, and I got my cosmetology license. You got to put this on paperwork if you want to be a first time home buyer program. Well, by that time, I'm like, man, hell no, I got to do another year of this. So I wasn't able to be qualified for the first time home buyer program. But in 2006, I became a homeowner because, hey, I was able to put a little more money down and purchase me my own home, whether I had needed first time home buyers or not. You get what I'm saying? It's risk and rewards or whatever the case may be. And so with that being said, uh, I needed to have things documented. I needed to have things in place. Now, if you say, well, hey, within that time frame, how was your walk? How were you doing then? I will fall and I get back up. I would have so many like cramps on my feet to be burning because I was standing up all day long, not properly having on the right shoes. You know, you just you're young, and I'm like, damn, I wish I wish I would have had on New Balances. I had on slide. I was just being comfortable, but also being happy about doing hair I'm 19, 20, well, I'm 21, 22. I don't know these things. I'm just making money every day. I'm spending it on whatever I want to spend it on. And it's blowing in thin air. So to piggyback on that, when I Miss Lisa said, "Hey, you made 100,000," it was over 100,000. I said, "How the hell I made 100 something thousand?" Because guess what? You doing hair, you're not even calculating everything that you got all this clientele coming in, but you blowing your money on it. Bull, all kind of stupid stuff. So I get her the receipt book. She's adding the total. Hey, you made 100 and some thousand this year. 100 and some thousand. Hell, in my mind, like, how the hell I made 100 and some thousand? I ain't never seen 100 and some thousand. What you don't know, you don't know. And then that book will tell it all, because everybody who hair I did, I had a receipt, and I always made them sign the receipt. It wasn't no fake stuff. It wasn't no, hey, forward signatures. No, why would I do that? I don't know. I'm just doing what Miss Lisa told me to do. So when I got these books and I bring her these books to now start paying taxes, I damn near got to pay taxes back. You get what I'm saying? So to answer that, everything I did, me going to walk across that stage, I did it scared. Me going to get my cosmetology license, I did it scared. Me listening to a tax preparer telling me what I got to do, and then telling me I owe taxes, I'm like, that was some scary shit when you got to owe taxes, and then I ain't got no money to prove it, because lack of knowledge, lack of knowing how to be your accountant, of knowing how to put your money up, or knowing how to budget your money. So when it comes down to certain things, I had to learn as I go. Now, when it comes down and you said, "Hey, man, I want to be a truck driver," or whatever, you don't even got to be no truck driver. You just want to be or do something that you want to do. Pray first. That's the number one thing. Pray first. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because whether you fail, don't give up. Whether you challenge the test, don't give up. Whether you just say, "You know what, I'm gonna start studying," and you put the book down. And I just thought about studying for that permit, man. That shit, it's too much. It's too much. I put the book down. Pick it back up whenever you feel like it. Like they say, time waits for no one. But at the end of the day, sometimes you got to research, you got to readjust yourself. Like sometimes you got to reset yourself, and you got to go to thinking about what I wish I would have did a long time ago. You can't keep wishing and would have did this or would have did that. You got to do it now. If it makes sense of what I'm trying to tell you, you have to do things now. I'm here to tell y'all. I had these glasses on because that sun was coming in my face, so and the sun getting ready to come down. But everything in life you have to do is scared. And I'm telling you guys, you know what? If you got somebody that's trying to distract you, you gotta go the other direction. I'm here to tell you, if you got your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, like, man, nah, don't be mad. You finna drive trucks for real. If that's something that you want to do, don't let them discourage you. You tell them, yes, I want to drive trucks, and I'm going to drive trucks. Yes, I'm going to start studying, and I'm going to pass. Always make sure you don't say nothing negative, and always think of things positive to say what comes out your mouth, because your mouth is a powerful tool. So anything and everything that you want to do, speak into existence and think about positive things to say. Don't realign yourself with negative and say, "Man, I'm scared, I don't want to do it." So anyway, I'm pushing forward, and I'm telling you about if you're a convicted felony or if you disabled. And I'm here to tell y'all, I'm a convicted felon, and plus, they consider me as disabled, because why? I can't jump regular how other people can jump. I don't walk regular how other people walk. I walk with a wobble. I didn't let that stop me. So what happened was I ended up working at Trader Joe's because I wanted a job. The business that I had, I always, like I said, I had a boutique. I always had ran my own business or whatever. But it wasn't booming like it was supposed to. Sales went down, things like that there. So I got me an extra job to pick up some income. And I started working at Trader Joe's, and I started learning how Trader Joe's warehouse, how they work, how they run. And I'm not gonna lie, I was doing the counting. You know, you counting the traits, the crates and stuff. You count whatever on there, or you wrapping the products because I want to work. You know what I'm saying? I always been a hustler. So I wanted to be, not only that, I'm not trying to be in the streets. I want to try to do something positive. So like I said, I went, they gave me a job. So, they gave me opportunity. Hey, you can work in the warehouse. I worked in the warehouse, and I started learning why these trucks was pulling up. Why these big trucks was backing in and we taking the stuff off the truck. I actually was able to get my forklift certification. Like I said, I was scared to do that, but I did it. I had to learn because, hey, driving a forklift, that's crazy too. But I end up, I ain't gonna lie, I end up getting my forklift certification, and I learned the forklifts at Trader Joe's. That's like I said, that be a lot of things that you think you're not gonna be able to do or achieve. You can. You just gotta apply and try it out. Like I say, who would have thought I would have had a forklift certification? Listen, if they gonna allow me to try, and if they gonna allow me to take the class, I'm gonna take the class because I want as many certifications as I can get. You feel me? And so with that being said, I started kind of saying, like, you know how you have an epiphany, like, but dang, if I'm only making, at that time I was probably making $350 a week after they took out taxes and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, well, what do these truck drivers make when they back in? As you start saying, well, hey, you want to go up into the company. Because I liked the Trader Joe's if they were paying more. $12 an hour back then, that was a waste of time. I ain't going to even lie. But it was something that kept the bills paid. I ain't going to lie. It was something that kept the bills paid, but it was also me just learning a new skill. Simple. So like I said, I seen all these trucks start pulling up, and I'm like, damn. As a forklift, putting the stuff onto the truck, I was, damn, they job look easy to me because all they doing is driving. So I started researching. Actually, my sister, I'm gonna tell you, my sister had got her CDLs first. I'm not gonna lie, my sister had a challenge. My sister challenged and got her CDLs. And guess what? I'm like, she did it maybe for 2 weeks, and what she told me, she didn't want to do it no more because it looked dangerous. And I just always told God, I hope I don't see that situation that she had seen. But I have seen a lot of accidents. I have seen a lot of terrible accidents. I'm not gonna lie. But it didn't deter me away from what I really wanted to do was just get. I felt like that was something big. I'm finna go to school. I'm finna learn how to drive a truck, and I'm finna get my CDS, and they gonna give me an opportunity. So what happened was, I ain't gonna lie, my sister like really did motivate me to get my CDLs, but then she kind of stirred me away. But then I'm like, man, I'm gonna just give it a try. The reason why I said my sister motivated me because she challenged. She never went to an actual school, but she went to a school for like a week because she had already been studying. She had already got her permit, and so she went to a school like for a week and got her CDLs. Which is, I'm gonna piggyback to you guys on. There are schools out there that do it. As long as you have your permit and as long as you have your DOT medical card, which meaning you have to be physically active, available to drive this truck. So, long story short, I end up Googling and researching how to get my what schools would take me as a. Now at the time, I didn't really know. I just thought that anybody could get their CDLs. Anybody could go to a school, you get your CDL. So I remember going to this one school, and I'm excited, and I'm orient. Well, not an orientation, just see if they will approve me. One of the things that they weren't going to approve me was because I was convicted felony. And another one was because you had to have a certain amount of credit. At that time, like I said, I didn't know nothing about credit back then. And this is 2018 probably. I'm gonna say 28 because I got my CDLs in 2019. So I started really trying to research around 2018. First of all, I'm walking into these establishments with a limp. I can't change my limp. No matter how it may look or seem, I'm walking in with a limp. They're probably like, "Then can she drive? Will she be able to handle this truck?" You gotta understand, it's terrifying because I might not walk like you. And thank you. My thoughts. Me saying, "Oh, I might be disabled." They're gonna probably not hire you because of the way that I walk. My wishful thinking. Which you shouldn't think a wish like that. I'm telling you, that was my mindset back then before I became a CDL driver. So I'm not gonna lie. Whatever the qualifications that they did tell me, they said, "Well, hey, you're a convicted felony," but they also say, "Hey, you need to find somebody who can probably co-sign for you, and we might can get you in." Well, I had one of my friends, old man back then, he tried and they denied. And I asked my sister because I knew my sister had good credit. She told me no. And sometimes, you the people you love, they're gonna tell you no. It is what it is. But I did ask my sister because I just knew that she had good credit. But she like, "Nah, I ain't gonna do it." Maybe she was like, "Nah, yeah." A lot of people get their credit messed up behind other people. So I understood and I get that and I didn't fault her for it. I was just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be able to pay you back. I just want to go to school." And when you have like this goal or this drive that you want to do something, a lot of people tend to do things. Yeah, a lot of people tend to say, "Hey, they want to do these things," but then they give up in the middle. They give up from the start. They give up even in the end when you damn about to finish. I didn't want to be that person, so I started Googling and researching other trucking schools that were higher convicted felonies, and they will give you an opportunity, they will give you a chance. And I found if you scroll all the way down, probably to the very end, it's going to be a video that I have when I went to trucking school. I think I got one video when I started trucking school. I was nervous, I was scared, but I was posting. It might be on another page. I have to go back and look. But this school gave me an opportunity. They didn't care the way I walked, and I thank God for that. They didn't care. They actually opened me up with welcome arms. Like, they didn't laugh at me. They probably did behind my back. Who cares? They gave me a chance to start this school. I went to orientation to see if I was gonna like the school. It was a black guy there named Mr. Phil. He kind of like he recruited and brought me on. They also had an opportunity that, hey, if you graduate and you get your CDLs, we'll have a job opportunity right after you graduate. So that was the main key. I'm gonna get my CDLs, but I also want to work as soon as I get my CDLs. And I'm not gonna lie, I got pimped. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I did get pimped when it came down to the job. But when it came down to the school, I didn't get pimped. Now I felt like I didn't get pimped because I was able to pay $6,500 to go to the school. You like $6,500? Yes, because I was determined. I felt like this was the only school that was close by, Daytona Beach area, and the school was in Green Cove Springs. So Green Cove Springs from Daytona Beach, Florida, was like an hour, maybe 15 away. And so they also had a motel that they run. That if you go to this school, you can pay for the hotel. That way, I didn't have to drive back and forth. So that was definitely convenient. I didn't have to drive back and forth to Jacksonville. Now you said, "Oh, well, then you coming from Daytona to Green Coast Spread?" That would have been nothing. I would have no, because like everybody needs to know, when you decide to get your CDLs and you really finna all this stuff, that is draining. It's a lot. I'm not gonna tell you. So no, I was like, no, I need to tell. And that time, the motel, to stay at the motel was like $600 something. I didn't want to stay with a partner. I wanted to stay alone. I wasn't comfortable staying with nobody else. But if you was going to the school, they'll either say, "Well, hey, you could go half with somebody else and y'all can share the room, the motel." I didn't want to do that option, so I chose the extra option where I had to pay a little bit more. Probably was $700. I can't really remember because it was so long ago. But I knew I paid that extra money, that way I could have my own motel room, if that makes sense. So when I went to the school, listen, I was I was happy, but I was nervous and I was scared because it was a group of maybe, I'm saying, a group of maybe 12 of us at this school, but we all learned together. A group of maybe, I'm thinking like maybe 12, and I remember it being a couple, which was a lady. So I'm like, because I didn't want to be the only girl that started this school. So it was a total of, I want to say, three girls. I want to say, if I ain't, it was me, another lady, because she was teaming up with her husband, and then it was one other lady that she was coming from. Um, she actually worked for, what is it called? Whatever she worked for, they was like basically she was working for a union, but she just needed to get her CDLs. I believe they paid for her to go to that school or whatever the case may be. I want to say it was U.S., not U.S. Foods, and not U.S. Postal Service. Why can't UPS? It was UPS. I can't think of her name right now because right now I just can't think of it, y'all. It was like three women. And I was happy about it. I was happy. I was confident. Like I said, before I even started with school, I had already got my permit because, like I said, I was studying. I had already got my permit and I had already got my DOT physical. And so for me, I kind of had like an advantage because I had, if you already get these things before you start school, you'll be kind of ahead of the class. Now you'll have more time to like pre-trip the whole truck and do your air brake test and actually have more time to drive, to learn how to drive the manual. And for me, like, I learned how to drive a manual. Now in school days, if you say, hey, I just want to test out in the automatic, which you can, because the one lady, she tested out in the automatic. I'm not gonna lie, her husband tested out in the manual, but she just couldn't get the manual, and so she ended up testing out in the automatic, and she still was able to go over the road with her husband and drive trucks. And that's another fear of a lot of people. They're like, man, I don't know if I can drive that manual. Listen, it's other options. So don't feel like when you start in school, and yeah, they're gonna start you off in manual, but if you can't really get that manual, you tell them, hey, just put me in the automatic. I'd rather test out an automatic. Later on, once you get it down pat, you can always go back and add the manual on to your license. So, like I said, don't be in fear that you don't want to do the manual, because you can start off at the gate and say, hey, I just want to do an automatic pass so I can start making me some money. So that is definitely an option. But I'm here to tell you, anytime you get ready to sign up for a school, be upfront with them. Tell them, hey, I'm a convicted felon, and I'm also, if you have this too that I have, I'm a convicted felon. I also have some disabled situations, but I was able to pass my DOT medical card. And they say, well, hey, well, as long as you was able to pass your DOT medical card, you're good. That's all. You don't have to go into detail about what your case was like. You don't have to go into detail about your specific disability. But as long as you can bend a little bit and hold things to get maneuver and get up under, if you're doing a pre-trip or if you're doing, the air brakes, and you just checking out the overall truck, you are capable of getting your CDLs. So don't be afraid. And that's why I gotta preach this to you guys. Don't be in fear that other people may look at you different. Because when I was in that class, they actually considered me as like family. They, like I say, they might have laughed and kiki about how I walk, but that didn't matter. As long as I passed this test, as long as I learned these fundamentals, because I only here for one thing, and the goal was to get my CDLs, and I did just that. I got my CDLs with no problem, but it was tense. It was very tense. But I knew I didn't want to fail myself, so I would always, I would wake up. I documented it. I would wake up to help me along this journey. Uh, Things like that, test out. Air brake test pressure too. Hey, that air brake test don't think it's a game. Shoot. But I'm here to tell you, that school, that's, matter of fact, my ebook is coming it's coming this week. I'm gonna make sure it gets out. I'm still going over the proper things to make sure the ebook is set, to my critique. But if you want to know all this information on how to become a female trucker, or how to become a male trucker, or how to just be a trucker, physical and medical, will be in this description. Whether it's today or whether it's Sunday, it will be in the description. And so I'm here to tell you, today, and any other day, no matter how bad it may look, no matter how scared you may feel, If you don't ask questions, how would you know? And that was the main thing. I'm like, in my mind, I ain't disabled. And if these people get my DOT medical card, I'm good. I'm good. Long as I ain't got to jump in a truck and I realize I have to jump in the truck, all you got to do is hold on 3.2 touch. You're good. So, like I said, I'm here to tell you guys, don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid to fill out an application. That's the number one thing. A lot of people is scared to even start and take the test. Don't be afraid of filling out the application. Don't be afraid to start to study. Like, come on. You have to do things that are gonna make you happy. The same way you could scroll on social media all day long, you could be scrolling on how to apply to get your CDLs. The same way you scroll and you watch other people's videos, you could be scrolling saying, you know what, I'm going to see what school will take me as a convicted felon or what school will take me, period. And like a lot of people say, well, dang, well, what if you don't have the funds? There are community schools that you can qualify for. And when I say that, any community college that has the CDL training program, call them and say, well, hey, what are the qualifications for me to sign up for this community training program to get my CDLs? They will actually, it might be less. It might be, they got grants and everything for that. Also, go to the One Stop Career Center and they're able to help you out with that. But for the people that don't have a GED or a diploma, you will have to go to like a private trucking school because you don't have a GED or diploma. Now, community college, those are the two things they're gonna ask for. Do you have a GED or do you have a diploma? Because they consider as like a credit, I believe, just like when I signed up to get my cosmetologist, it's a trade. So it's kind of like a credit. So if you don't have a diploma or a GED, the community college won't be a fit for you. But if you have a decent credit, I'm gonna just say if you have a decent credit and you're willing to take those steps and apply, you can go to a private CDL school. Now, to piggyback, if you say, well, I got money, I got credit, even if you ain't got credit, you like, I got money, I want to just start, I want to get my license in 2 weeks like my husband did. The school that he went to and he got his CDLs, and it was an accredited school, he probably did, I'm going to say a week and a half. I'm going to say 2 weeks because it's still, once you do that week and a half, it all depends on how much time do you need. So with this school, he was so good. Before he went to the school, we were studying. I was helping my man study pre-trip. We were going to truck stops. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid, but go to truck stops. Or if you be on the highway and you driving, pre-trip that truck. From the time you in the back of that truck to the time you pass that truck, you can pre-trip. You can like really pre-trip and see crack bent or broken, crack bent or broken. You will be able to say, oh, okay, I get it. I see these things. I can do it. So you have community college, you have a private college, and then you have you have a private school, and then you have a school that, hey, as long as you got your DOT physical and you got your CDL permit, and you really know, and all you want to do is learn the drive part, and all you want to know is how to do your air brake to pass. You want to know all these things to be able to pass to get your actual CDLs, and you can pay extra for accredited school. DM me so I can send you my ebook. My husband, because we were teaching, I would teach him and I would teach him and I would study with him and front and back, and we would go to truck stops. We did it for like 2 months. It don't happen overnight. And I was asking him today, how long you really think we were studying so long? He said we studied for about 2 months until he had it though. We studied and studied until my husband had got it. And we found this school, actually the same school that my sister went to. And God bless the dad, my cousin Scooter. He reached out to me, he gave me the information. And I'm like, okay, my husband want to go to this school because I already had my CDLs. I had done got my CDLs, and my husband said, "Well, hey, baby, if I go to school to get my CDLs, will you come back on the road with me?" And he was determined. And it took him a week. I ain't gonna lie, it took him about a week and a couple of days to actually get his CDLs. And I thought that was phenomenal. I thought that was actually insane. I thought, like, damn, my husband was good. He actually taught me a lot of stuff. I said within a week, if you got that mentality and your mindset on really, really, really studying, and all you know is like not to play around when you go to these classes. And matter of fact, my husband had a 101. So if you want to go to this school, or are you in Florida, DM me. I have a school that will give you 101, and it's an accredited school, but they will give you 101 training. It's in Florida though. I don't know about the other states, but I'm sure if it's other schools like the one in Florida that my husband went to, it's other schools just like that that will be accredited school as long as you got it. Because guess what? This school here, I think it was like 1,800 at the time. I can't quote how much it is now, but it's a 101 training. My husband had 101 training. He had more time to drive with this truck driver. Like he was, I mean, with the trucking company, the trucking school. He like had hands on where he had lots of time to drive this truck, lots of time to back up this truck, lots of time to do an alley dog, lots of time. So I'm like, if you one of those ones good like my husband, and you like, man, I got the paperwork part, I got the, like, I know that front and back, and you want to really try to get your CDLs in 2 weeks, and if you are in Florida, and if you are serious, that's another school that you can go to, and you'll be able to get your CDLs in 2 weeks. Not only that, they have a motel that they work with as well that was pretty cheap, and I think we end up to stay at that hotel for like a week and a couple of days. It probably wasn't nothing but about $300 or something for that week, which wasn't bad because when you're doing something, when you're determined to get something done, hey, I was all with my husband. I was going to do any and everything to make sure my husband passed. I was studying with him when he got out of school. I was studying with him every day, every night, because that's what teamwork is supposed to be like. That's what the motivation is supposed to be like. When one person can't do it, the other one supposed to pick that other teammate up, or that husband, or that spouse, or that significant other, and give them that motivation that they need so they can keep going and not being scared to do things. And that's what I'm here for you guys. I'm here to help you along this journey. My journey might not be like yours. You might not have a disability, and you might not be a convicted felon. And you just simply want to be able to just get started and start CDL school or start even learning. I am the person that is here to motivate you guys. DM me if you want to just ask me questions. DM me or comment below. Simple. I'm here to help. I am here to be as of service. I am Miss Dollar, and guess what? My husband's name is Chef Pay, and every time you see us on the semi truck, we get paid. I hope you liked this video and you enjoyed this video. More videos like this. Make sure you hit that notification button. That way you can be notified every video that I do upload. If you haven't, hit the notification bell, and I'm out. Appreciate love, the comments, everything.